السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله. Alhamdulillah. We are now continuing with our endeavor to have a better understanding, and I'm expecting mastery amongst all of you with regards to the Environmental Quality Clean Air Regulations 2014. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Muhammad. So in this segment, this is, I believe, the second slide or second session for the Clean Air Regulations 2014. I pilih untuk look into Regulation 4, and then kita mencelah ke Regulation 30 sebab Regulation 30 ni menjawab perkara-perkara yang mungkin being asked in Regulation 4. And then kita akan pergi peraturan 5, Regulation 5 for this session. So this segment is about who here means is it existing? How does it affect existing factory? How does it affect new premises? And when would all these regulation comes into force for existing factory, existing premise, because the law comes into force in 2014 June. So those existing factory yang dah ada, I believe kelulusan bertulis of the stack, remember? The boiler, the oven, the furnace, all these kelulusan bertulis is already existed long time ago, since I think since late 80s, yeah. So what happened to them? Is it still valid? Because all these kelulusan bertulis for the chimney, for the boiler, for the oven, thermal, oil heater, you name it. Semua ini ada syarat kelulusan, and as you know, syarat kelulusan or terms and conditions of approval, they are all legal binding. Yeah. So let's take a look at this law. I have a button here I got to press. Okay, hopefully it works. Yeah, all right, there you are. Now let's take a look at Regulation 4. This is the first part of this regulation. So we are still discussing when are we subjected to this regulation. So the law classified as two types of premise in terms of the quantum of time. The first one over here is really on is really about new premises. So for new premises, it is not a problem at all, because for any premises which is built or start operation from June 2014, they are automatically subscribing to this new regulation, which is a Clean Air Regulation 2014. All right, so no problem with that. Now, what about this? As I said earlier, these factories which have existed, some of them since 1960s and some 1950s, and they have been around for a very long time and carry with them existing kelulusan bertulis for the boiler, for the chimney, for the generator set, for the heater, for the oven, for the furnaces, you name it. All these industries has been around us for many, many years. So how does the law affect them? According to the law, for existing premises, you look at this one, if there was a complaint case after 4th June 2014 for existing premises, for existing factory like sawmill, like what they call well, there are so many types of factory. I can't even, mention them in a short span. In all these factories, if there is any complaint case, uh, immediately they have got to jump into complying to the new regulation, which is 2014. All right. Now, and this law is also giving 5 years grace from 4th June 2014, which actually has expired a year ago, 2019, isn't it? And I have given my first talk on this law. I think it was even as it was gazetted. I think it was in April 2014. I've given this talk about the new regulations to get people prepared for this. Alhamdulillah. Sorry. Actually, I just had my food. I'm not sure. It's not lunch. I don't take lunch. I think that this is my normal time when I have that one meal a day is after my Asar prayers. Now, for this, the 5 years grace period from 4th June, it is actually connected to this regulation, Regulation 30. And we are going to look at Regulation 30. So I hope this is clear. Under Regulation 4, it is stipulating when a premise begins to subscribe. Bilakah waktunya kilang-kilang atau premis-premis ini mula tertakluk di bawah peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling udara bersih 2014. So jawapannya, kalau kilang itu baru, new premise, immediately. Maksud new premise ni pada 4 Jun 2014, kilang mula dibina ataupun kilang mula beroperasi. Maksudnya kewujudan dia bermula pada 4 Jun. Tak kira lah baru nak buat land clearing ke apa ke pada 4 Jun tu, di situ dia dah start. Maksudnya tertakluk di bawah peraturan yang baru. They are already subscribing to the new law on that particular date. Right. Untuk existing premise, remember the grace period has already expired, so we got to check the Regulation 30 right now. Kita mencelah dahulu. Right, there you are. Look, these are all written in the law, and I just give a summary of what is being written down. Ini semua dah ada dalam undang-undang, saya cuma memberikan kesimpulan. Okay, now, ada 3 perkara. Peraturan 30 menceritakan tentang revocation. Apa maksud revocation ni? Penarikan. Penarikan apa? Undang-undang ini. Nampak? Tahun? Ini maksud Regulation 30 is a revocation of the previous regulation. Penarikan atau pemansuhan. Betul ke bahasa Melayu saya pemansuhan? Penarikan lah, revocation is penarikan daripada berkuat kuasanya peraturan lama, iaitu peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling udara bersih tahun 1978 tidak diguna pakai setelah masuknya undang-undang baru ni, kecuali 3 perkara. Ada kecuali. Yang pertama, nampak yang pertama ni, kilang-kilang sedia ada yang dah ada lesen ataupun hal-hal berhubung kait dengan kelulusan bertulis seperti yang saya sebut. Alright. Bila undang-undang lama ni tidak diguna pakai. Maksudnya bila undang-undang lama ni ditarik daripada kilang yang sedia ada. Ini when is the old regulation being revoked from this particular premise? Take a look. First one, renewal or transfer and written permission application before the date of this new law come into operation. There you are. Maksudnya undang-undang lama ni masih diguna pakai kecuali permohonan yang dilakukan sebelum tarikh Maksudnya operate, maksudnya apabila permohonan renewal atau transfer atau kebenaran bertulis ini diperolehi sebelum tarikh berkuat kuasanya undang-undang ini, iaitu 6 Jun, maka undang-undang lama ni boleh pakai. Okay? Tapi kalau pembaharuan lesen atau pemindahan lesen atau kelulusan kebenaran bertulis dibuat selepas tarikh 6 Jun itu, maka tertakluklah pada undang-undang baru. Okey, dia macam tu. Dan berhubung dengan lesen pula, seandainya, maksudnya lesen yang sedia ada itu masih mematuhi peraturan 1978, kecuali unless apabila ia telah tamat tempoh atau ditarik balik. Ada setengah-setengah lesen ditarik balik ya, dan digantung. Okey, kat sini nampaknya digantung, lesen digantung, atau lesen itu dibatalkan, atau lesen itu dibuat pindaan. Apabila lesen itu mati atau ditarik balik atau digantung atau dibatalkan atau dibuat pindaan, maka lesen itu, syarat-syarat lesen itu akan automatically menggunakan syarat-syarat ataupun had-had di bawah peraturan yang baru, peraturan 2014, itu maksudnya. Alright. Now, yang satu lagi, hal-hal mahkamah pula. Ini ada satu hal. Sekiranya ada kes-kes tidak patuh kepada peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling tahun 78, atau adanya kes-kes mahkamah yang berhubung kait dengan had-had pelepasan yang termaktub di dalam peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling 78, meaning if there is any court case, what they call court case involving factories, and this court case is while the factory or the premise is subscribing to the old regulation, which is Environmental Quality Clean Air Regulations 1978, and when there is court case, these cases, all right, court case for offenses under Clean Air Regulation 1978 or any terms and conditions of approval which they have got before coming into force of this new regulation. Look, if the court case starts, sama ada court case itu bermula atau court case itu tertangguh sehingga pada tarikh undang-undang baru ini datang into operation. Alright, maka undang-undang lama, iaitu tahun 78, masih digunakan. Okey, maksudnya sekiranya ada kes mahkamah mengenai pencemaran udara bermula pada tarikh undang-undang itu datang, bermaksud sebelum itu sehingga pada tarikh undang-undang itu datang, atau tertangguh sehingga tarikh undang-undang ini berkuat kuasa, iaitu 6 Jun tadi itu, maka perbicaraan ketika itu menggunakan undang-undang lama. Tetapi selepas itu, apabila court case itu mula berjalan pada hari selepas itu, selepas masuk undang-undang baru, maka undang-undang baru 2014 akan digunakan. So meaning, if there is court procedure, judicial processes, it occur after the date of coming into force of operation of the new regulation, then the new regulation will be used. All right. That's about court case. All right. I think it's over now. I'm just giving you some idea of how the law is behaving. Now, let's take a look at this one. Grace period 5 years. Alhamdulillah. The food was good just now. The ma'am cooked ayam percik. Fabulous. That's why I don't leave home. Now, grace period 5 years here means this is related to, see, emission standard. Meaning, emission standard, I think, had pelepasan, okay, of air impurities for air pollution or emission control equipment for dust collector, outlet or exhaust, scrubber exhaust, all these outlet or exhaust of a dust collector, scrubber, etc., which already have KB. Okay, now if this equipment, look, is not yet constructed, they have already the kelulusan bertulis. Remember this one? They already have the kelulusan bertulis, but it has not been constructed. They have a kelulusan bertulis, say, for a filter bag house, but they have not yet constructed. Within 1 year after the approval is given, then what happened? They are still using the old regulation, 1978. Okay, and they are given 5 years. Okay, or they have not started. They have started. This one is not started. This one is started. They have started construction of the new dust collector, or started construction of a new factory at that point with the new dust collector, new what they call stack, new air pollution control equipment, but not yet complete. Then for these premises, they are given 5 years grace. To what? To follow the old regulation 1978 until June 2019. Then they have got to follow the new regulation, which is 2014 Clean Air Regulation. Got it? Maksudnya, kalau kilang ini dah dapat KB, dah dapat kelulusan bertulis, tetapi belum mula pembinaan pada tarikh 6 Jun 2014 tu, belum mula pembinaan, atau yang kedua ni, dah mula membina kilang atau dust collector atau alat kawalan pencemaran udara, baru nak bina, baru construct, dah start construction tapi belum siap, atau completed, dah siap, kilang dah siap, dust collector dah pasang, tetapi kilang belum beroperasi, atau kilang dalam commissioning, belum betul-betul operasi, dan alat kawalan pencemaran udara juga dalam commissioning, belum transfer, belum serah, belum handover, tapi maksudnya belum operation, maka kes-kes macam ni, kilang-kilang ini atau premis ini diberikan selama 5 tahun untuk mematuhi undang-undang lama. 5 tahun untuk mematuhi undang-undang lama, iaitu Clean Air Regulation tahun 78 yang telah pun tamat tempohnya pada Jun 2019. That is how it works. Ini maksud Regulation 30. Boleh? Ini pun dah selesai kan? Tapi auditor ada juga kekeliruan. Tapi lah, maklumlah, the law ni English satu, yang kedua dia rhetoric, and it's not easy. Saya sendiri, I'm not a lawyer myself, and I don't really study law for my education, but I learn from lawyers, I learn from ex-magistrate, ex-judges, and these are the people who guided me. And when I was in the service, I was trained by good masters, good or sifus we call it. Even the deputy public prosecution officer of the state are very helpful, from Intan and from Bukit Aman and all these people. So we were trained for that, and for that reason, I owe all these people a lot of gratitude. Now, let's go into the next slide. All right. This one, we go back to Regulation 5. We have completed Regulation 4. Therefore, this is where we are now, actually, at this stage. We are here. We are now talking about complying to Environmental Quality Clean Air Regulation 2014. Absolutely. Ya, kita sekarang dah masuk fasa di mana kita akan menggunakan sepenuhnya secara total peraturan-peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling udara bersih tahun 2014. Saya bercakap Regulation 5. Okey. Tengok Ini apa ni? New premise. Now, semua premis baru. Ini ada kekeliruan sedikit lah. Ada yang setengah-setengah orang mengatakan bahawa kilang-kilang lama juga kena notify DOE. Okey, itu mungkin secara remote ataupun bagi memudahkan mewujudkan keseragaman data, saya rasa bagi pihak berkuasa. Itu hak mereka. Mereka mempunyai hak untuk meminta permohonan baru daripada kilang-kilang yang sedia ada. They have the right to ask for notification to be done by even existing factories, meaning new premises. They have the right because they want to standardize all the information, or maybe not just standardize, updating database, alright, with regards to information on factory. So itu hak dan mereka ada kuasa. So kita berikan kerjasama kepada authorities. So no problem with that. Now, look. Satu lagi saya nak beritahu. Peraturan tau sekarang ni. Bukan akta, peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling udara bersih 2014. I mohon juga, or especially competent person and your bosses, your MD CEO especially, and HSC managers, and also auditors from whichever certification body you come from, please remember this. This regulation is as good as an act. Because why? For clean air regulation, the DOE can issue summon based on this regulation, and they don't have to couple it with, remember, Section 22? They can do that. This is a new provision given to this law, which is, for me, I regard this law as a higher level in enforcement execution, and it is a powerful law, all right? And to date, I don't see any provision under this new regulation 2014 that are compoundable offenses. Can correct me if I'm wrong. I've been checking through. There is no provision under this new regulation that it can be compoundable. Not like the old regulation 1978. You can compound chimney offenses, boiler offenses, without approval, we can compound them, or they change the location, change the structure without approval from DOE. That is compoundable offense. And all the regulation 36, as I remember, 36, regulation 31, and all this of the 1978 regulation. But this regulation, that is, for me, I have been checking through, is missing. But never mind that. Now, that is the authority of the related governance, the Department of Environment, namely, they have that authority. Now, for new premises, we have to issue what? Written notification to DOE. When? 30 days in prior. Maksudnya, untuk premis yang baru yang tertakluk kepada peraturan kualiti alam sekeliling udara bersih 2014 ini, mereka perlu mengemukakan notifikasi kepada Jabatan Alam Sekitar, DOE itu, Director General of Environment, 30 hari sebelum memulakan kerja-kerja pembinaan. Tak kira lah pembinaan kilang ataupun pembinaan cerobong atau pembinaan dan pemasangan boiler, furnace dan sebagainya. Semua fuel burning equipment. Ya. Tapi dalam hal ini nampak gayanya we need to have a project owner atau kilang-kilang, especially top management, tuan punya premise ini perlu mempunyai perancangan yang baik. You need to know, you need to wrap up all your blueprints, all your architectural drawings, all your structural drawings, your engineering drawings of building, of equipment, of the layout of your production floor, of the equipment setup. Everything has got to be done and intact and ready to build before submitting your written notification to the DOE. All the blueprints has got to be endorsed by a professional engineer, which is registered with the Malaysian Board of Engineers. Okay, so please take that into account. Okay, and for auditors, kalau you nampak kilang-kilang ini telah didirikan without written notification to DOE. Kilang baru tau. Tidak mengemukakan written notification, contohnya untuk memasang stack, atau untuk membina kilang, atau untuk memasang alat-alat pembakaran bahan api, atau memasang apa-apa proses yang boleh menyebabkan pencemaran udara. Apa you buat kalau tak notify? NCR, Nah, ini senang lah, ini NCR under legal. Dan legal NCR ni is carrying more weight. So, lain-lain isu tentang auditing ni, saya juga menyarankan auditors, because kita ni semua bukan daripada disiplin yang sama. Saya kenal beberapa orang auditor bukan daripada engineering disiplin. Mereka accountant pun ada juga. Pernah berjumpa, pernah berbual. Banyak dia bertanya saya. So, saya tolonglah. So, belajar. Pendekkan cerita, auditors learn. And your learning never stop. Okay? Because when we talk about engineering subjects, engineering transform. In theory, it is standard. But once it is put into practice, engineering has a little bit of, I should say, innovative. Yeah. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, untuk memberikan sedikit panduan pada you all, ini tak ada dalam undang-undang, ini lebih kepada membantu, especially consultant yang mana nak buatkan permohonan untuk klien. Jangan lupa perkara-perkara ni, first thing. Ni, line title. Tak kira lah that particular project ataupun that particular premise is renting some kind of factory workshop premise, you need to have the what they call the owner of the premise a copy of the land title. Sebab apa? Sebab some industries boleh duduk dekat perusahaan tanah-tanah perusahaan ringan. Some industries are allowed to occupy land premises which is gazetted for light industry. Some are allowed for workshops. Some are allowed for business land title. Banyak sangat land title. Ini semua state list. Ini kerajaan-kerajaan negeri lah yang mewujudkan, mentakrifkan land title ini berdasarkan plan-plan struktur negeri dan daerah masing-masing lah. So these structural plans are actually the sovereign rights of state government, and at district level you got to check. So consultant pergi district itu, check dengan master plan di pejabat-pejabat tanah galian daerah, sama ada lot number so and so is really meant for industry. Yang related to permohonan yang you tengah buatkan itu, so check that one. And then ada yang light industry, ada medium industry, ada heavy industry, ada special class A industry, dan ada beberapa lagi klasifikasi industri. Kemudian you semak dengan DOE whether that type of industrial operation would DOE allow to be in that particular land title. Semak awal-awal. Kalau you tak semak awal-awal, you hantar permohonan, it takes time for them to check, and then bila tengok dekat situ ada, vague, buang, tendang, and then you're wasting time, alright? So check awal-awal sebelum, tapi jangan sebut dulu nama project owner tu, sebutkan tanah ini, jumpa dengan DOE, jumpa dengan majlis dahulu, checkkan block number apa semua, kategori industri apa di situ, and check dengan DOE, would that be allowed? You got to do a little bit of homework lah, especially consultant yang buatkan permohonan, ya. So I wish you luck kat situ. Yang kedua, sekiranya if it is a rental premise, get the agreement, copy of the agreement. And agreement tu kena ada stamping. Agreement without stamping is actually under Evidence Act non-admissible evidence. So dari segi perundangan is not legible. Tolonglah yang tu. Maybe you got to pay a bit money, but it's not much. Alright. Yang ketiga yang saya ingat ni lah site plan, location dekat daerah itu ataupun kawasan industri itu, site plan. Why site plan? Sebaik-baiknya site plan ni you dapat cover neighbor sehingga 1.5 hingga 3 km radius kita dapat lihat. The site plan should cover a radius of about 1.5 to 3 kilometers for us to be able to understand compatibility dari segi industry, whether that operation is compatible to other existing industries over there, so that or compatible not only to other industries but to all other human activities, so that it won't cause some form of conflict of land use, ya, supaya penggunaan kawasan di situ tidak menjadi bercanggah, ya, bertentangan. Contohlah, saya buka kilang perabot. Ini kes sebenar ni, tak sebut kat mana. Buka kilang perabot you tahulah. Ada sawing, ada planning, all the wooden dust semua keluar, ada silo apa semua. Yes, tetapi the location of my furniture factory is only 5 meters from the next door, which is a residential area. That is a conflict. Or I built a furniture factory by the side of food manufacturing. These are all conflict, and kita nak jaga. So site plan is very important. We need to identify all the other so-called, in ecological term, bioreceptors. Bioreceptors includes your neighbor, flora, fauna, animals, etc. So these are all our bioreceptors, okay? Not just indicator animals. All right. Oh, do you realize that I have just installed a spotlight? Looks good, isn't it? But it's too bright for me. Actually, it's not. It's a portable spotlight. It's from my. I have this jump starter using what do you call it? Power bank. Yeah, it's got it online, so it is handy. And during the MCO, most of our vehicles are not able to start, and because we don't go anywhere, so I got to use jumper starter with this huge battery. It's so powerful. Now, another layout plan. That premise itself. A complete layout plan indicating where the office is, where the gut house is, where are the pipes, water pipes, bomba pipes, machines, excavation route, internal mobility route of forklift of people, which are prohibited routes, which are not, all this mobility of materials, everything. Make it complete. Because if it's not complete, when a DOE officer check, and some of them are well trained, they know about this, they will ask, and if it's not there, the whole document will be given back. DOE doesn't have time to pujuk rayu. DOE doesn't have time. They have got bundles of documents to look at every day, and they're working back to back. All right, so please understand that. Make sure your document is complete. All right. if I am you, if I'm a consultant, to do all this application, I would, before I officially submit, I would get a DOE to have a review first. Be kind to the DOE officers. You get a review first, whether this one is suitable for his office, because different states may have a slightly, not entirely, but slightly different, well, way of doing certain things. All right, so nonetheless, on the other parts of the operation, they are all standardized because they use the same law. And don't forget this: process flow chart from A to Z. I just want to give you some tip if you want to have a better flow chart. Mass balance. Use the concept of mass balance. You know production tree, right? Engineers, mechanical engineers, you learn production, right? I think you know production tree in engineering, the dynamics of materials, okay? And use a flowchart based on that concept. And you might not give the correct or exact mass per se, but indicate material changes, material conversion, indicate it in your flowchart. And of course, please describe the process. When you do process, please describe what happened there. What happened in the tank? Is it a polymerization process? What happened in the other tank? Is it organic degradation? What happened in the other tank? Is just mixing? Or what happened in the other tank? Alkylation? What happened in that tank? Saponification? Everything. Semua kena sebut. Process description. Keep it short and simple. Yes, KISS. Keep it short and simple. Not, yeah. Okay, got it? Process description. I hope this is understandable. And auditors, this is the time that you get hold of these documents and read. Sebelum masuk audit kilang tu baca process description, bukan setakat kilang buat apa, bukan setakat dokumen ISO standard 9000, 14000 yang lain-lain. Not just that, process description tu biasa kalau you buat quality, you ada process description. 14,000 punya auditor, ambil lah that particular document and process description. Learn what? What are the environmental aspects? And how are these aspects transformed from one form to another? See, these are all learning, all right? And at that point, you are able to appreciate what the industry is doing, okay? Dan juga ni, list of raw materials and products. You kena submit dalam you punya tu notification form. Of course, this notification ada form. There's a form with it, but you got to get the form from the DOE, all right? And don't forget this: the top management, yeah, what do you call it? Not PSM, is it PSM? No, it's not. SSM forms, PSMB, SSM forms. Please, if you get a copy, consultant yang mana bawa perkara ni pergi ke DOE, please make sure if your documents is a photocopy, please make sure it is endorsed as certified true copy. Jangan jadi don't ask for any kind of problems, because DOE akan tanya, is this from the original copy? Yes. So you bawa sekali original copy with you. So letter of undertaking from top management, another declaration from them, the commitment, the declaration stating that the top management is committed to comply to all the stipulated regulations in the law and also all the terms and conditions stipulated by the government. Ini kena ada. All right. Well, I hope it's clear. So, yeah. Is it okay, you guys? That's about it. So until the next time, we are getting deeper into the regulation. This is Regulation 5. I hope it's clear for you. So thank you very much for your attention. Please share it. If you know there's some consultant out there doing the work, share the slides. Share all these videos. When we Malaysian are able to operate in a higher efficiency level, we can do a lot better in our economics. All right, I'm just chipping in just a little bit for the country, nothing much. It's consider this a payback from what I got when I was working for the country, and you guys are all taxpayer, and now I'm a taxpayer myself in my own living. All right, so thank you for the attention. All the best until we meet again in the next video. I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day, have a nice evening, whatever time you're watching this video. Have a good time. All right. Thank you very much. I'm looking for the stop button. Here you are. Bye bye.